Você gosta de levar sustos? Então pegue a pipoca e prepare o coração, porque nesta quinta-feira estreia aí no Brasil o Telefone Preto. E é um suspense arrepiante.
Se ele tocar, atenda. E se essa van se aproximar, fuja. O SBT News conversou com exclusividade com o elenco e com o diretor do filme. E eles nos revelaram detalhes desse enredo que nos deixa 1h30 com aperto no peito. O Telefone Preto é a junção de um conto com os medos e lembranças da infância e adolescência do cineasta Scott Derrickson.
Well, a lot of it's taken from my own personal experience, you know. The way the movie really came about is I'd read Joe Hill's short story. I thought it was great, and I didn't know how to expand it into a feature film, though. And so the idea was to take a lot of my own memories of growing up in North Denver, Colorado in 1978, and a lot of the fears I experienced, being bullied, violence in my home, you know, violence on the streets and at school. And I just liked the idea of taking that time and place and those memories that I had and kids that I knew and combining it with Joe's short story. And that's really what the movie is.
O diretor também transporta o espectador para reviver as suas lembranças. As filmagens foram feitas no local onde o cineasta cresceu e com as cores e referências da década de 1970.
All from memory, you know, I have a pretty strong memory and remember almost everything from my childhood. So, you know, I really looked for elements that were distinctive to where I grew up in that area. Things like the chain link fences, you know, with the sharp tops on the fence, and the red brick houses, the flat, you know, one-story red brick houses. There was a lot of elements that I had that I found that were very much like the neighborhood I grew up in.
Diante da história regada a tensão psicológica muito mais do que puro terror, o ator Ethan Hawke se rendeu ao papel de vilão.
Well, it's something different for me. You know, I've never really played an outright villain like this and a bad guy. And so, I don't know, it felt like it was time to do something different, you know, and to get to do all this crazy work in a mask. And the whole thing felt bizarre. And I loved the script. I thought it was really entertaining and beautiful story of a brother and a sister taking care of each other. You know, and so my role is to be the horror.
Na primeira cena, seu personagem se apresenta como um mágico. Eis a isca para atrair as crianças para dentro do furgão. Sequência que inclusive lembra o clássico do terror, It, escrito pelo rei do horror, Stephen King, pai do autor do conto de O Telefone Preto. Impossível não se ligar também nos elementos tão comuns dos clássicos de King. Crianças corajosas, pais irresponsáveis, vilões assustadores e seus acessórios. Hawke aparece em quase todos os momentos com o rosto coberto. As máscaras são substituídas no decorrer da trama e a interpretação vem com os olhos, movimentos corporais e tom de voz. Perguntei como foi esse desafio.
Hard. Confusing. You know, you're not sure. I felt really out of the orbit of anything I know how to do. I you know, with that mask on and which mask to wear and what does that do to your voice and what does that do to how you move and acting with children. The whole thing was very surreal. And I just really had to trust the script and try to have a good time. You know, if you're going to play the boogeyman, you've got to go for it.
E eu questionei se ele fez alguma relação com as nossas máscaras usadas por causa da pandemia.
I thought a lot about that because, you know, you'd go into a coffee shop or something and everybody would have a mask on and you couldn't tell if they were smiling or if they were scowling. And how unsettling. I found it deeply unsettling not to know who people were. And I think that is part of the power of masks, is hiding.
Já há vários meninos desaparecidos na vizinhança e o terror psicológico do sequestrador é descarregado agora em cima de Finney, interpretado por Mason Thames. Ele está trancado em um porão, à prova de som com apenas um colchão e o telefone desconectado. Mas mesmo assim, ele toca. E é por essa linha que é feita toda a conexão entre os que já passaram pelas torturas do sequestrador e não sobreviveram e o menino. Este foi o primeiro filme do ator.
Yeah, it was always my dream to get kidnapped by Ethan Hawke, and you know, for my first movie, having that happen was really a dream of mine. No, it was really cool working with Scott and Ethan. You know, they're such incredible at what they do, and you know, just watching them do it in person is something that I don't think that can ever be topped for me.
Do lado de fora está a irmã Gwen, vivida pela atriz Madeleine McGraw, que é quem dá um toque de bom humor ao terror. Ela usa os dons que herdou da mãe já falecida para tentar encontrá-lo. Através dos sonhos, recebe mensagens.
Please hurry! I fell in love with Gwen as soon as I read her character description. I loved how tough she was, how fearless she is, and I loved the bond with her and her brother because it reminded me of my bond with all my siblings.
E com essa ligação forte de irmãos, esses jovens atores transformam o filme que poderia ser apenas de horror ou suspense numa trama sobre amor e amizade. São eles que trazem o coração para esse enredo.